And that brings us to the co-main event. And as always, if you're enjoying the content here, hit that like and subscribe button as we break down UFC 324's co-main event. Amanda Nunes taking on Kayla Harrison. Carlos, who you got in this one?
I'm going to go with Amanda Nunes in this one. Harrison, she's big, physical fighter, very good ground and pound. Has worked on her wrestling a lot to go along with her judo, so she can get takedowns just by dropping a level. And possibly, once you're up against the cage, she's not going to shoot while you're in the middle of the ring. But besides being in the clinch, she does have another way of taking you down. And that's going to work in her favor, because to get Amanda in the clinch, and she, when Harrison gets someone in the clinch, she does like to, throw some knees to the body, soften you up a bit while she's getting you, off balance to get a throw or something like that, or get you up against the cage for the takedown. But Amanda also likes to fight in the clinch as well if she can. But the issue being is most girls are intimidated, so they'd rather stay close with Amanda, and they're not as busy. Harrison's going to stay busy, but Amanda likes the space to work. She needs the space to throw her shots and her kicks, and she likes to be able to rip your lead leg. And I think that's going to be a factor in this, because once she starts tearing into the lead leg of Harrison's going to have a hard time driving forward with those takedowns to get the takedown. But she's also going to have to rely on her judo to get the takedown, which Amanda's going to start keeping the separation, probably by throwing long punches and ripping that lead leg. So I do think Amanda has the ability to slow her down. However, we have seen Kayla Harrison fight Larissa Pacheco, and she got stunned in one of the fights, not too bad. But Pacheco does not hit like Nunes. So what's going to happen when she gets hit by someone like Nunes? Is she going to be able to absorb it? Because so far she's shown that she hasn't really gotten hurt in fights. And when she did take a shot, she was able to, shoot, get the clinch, get a takedown, get herself out of trouble. And against Nunes, that's going to be a problem. Nunes is going to frame her. She's going to start throwing knees to the body, and she's going to create that space. The thing is, if you make Nunes work and you don't keep getting hurt by her strikes, we have seen Amanda fade in fights where she's left herself open for the submission. And I think against Kat Zingano, I think she got submitted in that one. I'm not too sure. I can't really remember that one. But what I do know is that she did lose that one. She was winning early. Kat Zingano was able to hold on and get the victory. Kayla Harrison has that resilience as well. The only issue is how does she react to Amanda Nunes' striking? And I think Amanda can do a lot more damage to Harrison on the feet than, Harrison's a tank. So she looked like she could take a lot, but I feel like Amanda could do a lot of damage to slow her down. I'm going to take Nunes because she is the best. She's put out the best, and I feel that she's going to get the job done. It's just so tough with such a long layoff. Harrison's been busy. She's been fighting in some very competitive fights against Pacheco. Those fights are very physical fights, and Amanda just, as Juliana Pena, same thing. She got tired. Yes, she was injured in that fight, but as soon as she gets tired, she fades and she lets herself get the loss. So I don't know what's going to happen in that fight. I wish I could say Nunes all the way. It's going to be a tough one. I don't know how you feel about it. I wouldn't bet Nunes winning. I wouldn't even bet Harrison winning. But I will say that I don't even know what I'm going with this one, because I'm just going to stop right there. I'm going to take Nunes. I feel she's going to hurt her. She's going to do some damage. That'll slow down Harrison and those takedowns. Yep. It's a tough one to pick, man.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, and I'm going to interject a little bit here. I'm right there with you. There's a lot of question marks on both sides. And when you kind of look back at the history of these two, obviously both of them training at American Top Team. I know Amanda left there. Kayla decided to stay there. And I don't know if that plays into a factor of how these two see each other and whether one, kind of has the upper hand in sparring, or, or the coaches know something that we don't, or anything that it comes down to that in terms of these two women's careers. Obviously, two of the better females in the division. The Nunes, a Hall of Famer, obviously known for a power, and a woman that's obviously come back and avenged her loss against Juliana Pena. But there's no doubt about it to me that the Lioness, obviously, when you look at her previous victories before her retirement and now her coming back, that she's not necessarily looked at her best. And when you look at Kayla Harrison, obviously a very high-level judo practitioner, not known for the striking. So I think the thing that really has me tied up here in this fight is realistically that if this fight plays out on the feet, we know that Harrison is not a woman that, really has high-level striking. I wouldn't even say that she has mediocre striking. Her striking is feasible to set up her takedowns, and that's about it. You look at Nunes, obviously we know that she can hit, and she can crack and she can knock people out. She sets up her shots very well. But we have seen her, get wrestled, get taken down. We have seen her back taken, and we have seen her, I don't want to say quit, but, in moments she's shown weaknesses in where Kayla is definitely strong. So there's a lot of question marks for me. You throw in the 2.5-year layoff as well. Does Nunes come back a shadow of her former self? Does she come back new and improved, motivated here, knowing that she can beat a girl like Kayla Harrison, who maybe she's beaten in sparring somewhere down the road, and that she feels very confident in this matchup, which is why she's decided to take it to come back to reclaim her belt. So there's a lot of question marks for me. I do think that Kayla Harrison is a very viable champion, 19-1. Obviously that one loss, like Carlos mentioned, against Pacheco, but we saw in that Pacheco fight that Pacheco was able to get the fight back to the feet. She was able to scramble. She was able to really make it a dogfight. I just question whether Nunes has that in her at this point, 37 years old after a long layoff. I question whether she has that still to be able to make this a dogfight. I could see Nunes maybe having success early, but I think Harrison could be able to get the takedowns, really wearing her, and kind of go with the ladder of what Carlos said about this fight. I'm going to go with Kayla Harrison in a slight lean. I am a big Nunes fan. She's one of my favorite fighters. I do think that she is very viable still as an opponent here for a woman like Kayla Harrison. I just think realistically here, the layoff, the age, and the fact that these two have history together, I have a little bit of a question mark when it comes to people that have trained at the same gym and one moves and one doesn't. Maybe I'm looking into it. Maybe it's absolutely nothing. It could play out like nothing. But to me, I'm going with Kayla Harrison here. I think she can weather an early storm here from Nunes, get the takedowns, and smother an older Lioness here who's not necessarily in her prime anymore. But I wouldn't be surprised if Nunes was able to pull off the upset here as the underdog.